Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to change a tire on your 2023 Chevy Suburban over here in Plant City at the gym. Everybody's working out, so we're going to work out on getting the Suburban tire changed. The first thing you want to do is set your emergency brake. So open your door up here, and then in the middle there should be, or maybe over here, oh here it is, there's a little P button. Just push that in, and then it should come up with red parking letters on your dash. That means your parking brake is set, so that way the jack or the vehicle won't fall off of the jack once you start jacking it up. So that's super important that you do that. Then you want to open up your back hatch and lift up your floor, fold this back, and you'll find your tools for lowering the spare tire and things like that, which are going to be right here. They're velcroed in, so you got to undo that velcro, get that out. And then if you have this in your glove compartment, this is your locking lug nut key, which we'll cover in just a few minutes, but you want to go ahead and get that out as well. Once you get that out, then you're going to come back here to the back bumper, and underneath there's going to be a couple little like wing nut things. Kind of turn those until they're loose, and then it should come down. There we go. Turn that one tight again. There you go. And then once you get it loose, it'll kind of pivot and come up, and then you can just pull it up out of the top. Kind of scary, but you'll be okay. It won't break. And it just kind of held in with these little plastic tabs right here. See those? And then that is your bottom little wing nut looking things, right? Just turn those. They just have like a little prong at the end of it, and that's what holds it in for you. And then it'll remove that whole tow package part for you, right? And then take your hand, feel that behind here like so, and push this out. Once you push that out, you'll see that there is a key cylinder back here. You have to take your ignition key and stick it in there, turn it to the 3 o'clock position, and then pull the key cylinder straight out. And you have the ignition key. Okay, and then right here on your key, you got this little button on the side. Push that, and that'll release your ignition key out of the key fob, like so. And then you're just gonna take this and kind of stick it in to the key cylinder like so, all the way in, and then turn it, if it will, and then pull it straight out. Got to get it all the way to turn all the way, and it's kind of, it rubs the plastic there, but it'll go, and then pull, and the whole cylinder comes out. And that's so people can't steal your spare tire. We'll take that and set that in there, and then we'll get all of our tools out of here, our rods and our lug wrench and stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna have 3 rods and a lug wrench. This is for your lugs. That takes your lug nuts off of the vehicle right there. And just take 2 of these rods. This one here with the flat end is for your jack, so you don't need that one for this. But the 2 that have the square ends like that and like that, those connect together. So we'll put those together real quick. All right, and it'll look like that. And then you're gonna take the big square end and feed it into the little tunnel here. It's going to go in like so, and then you'll feel it go in and engage, and when it doesn't turn, you know it's engaged. Then you take your lug wrench, the big square at the end here is going to slide over the smaller square, push it past that little button there, and that locks it in. And now you want to start cranking it counterclockwise like so. And that will lower your spare tire down from underneath. It's just held in by this mechanical winch, this big cable here. It goes up to a winch mechanism up there, and that's what lowers it down. So just keep cranking it until the cable won't turn anymore, because you're going to need all the slack. Even though it's on the ground, it doesn't have enough slack in that cable to pull it out yet. So we're just going to keep cranking it until it won't crank anymore, and that gives the cable enough slack for us to pull it out. go. And then just grab it with your hand, pull it out, and then you're gonna stand it up like so. And then you're gonna take this like little holder thing here and feed it through the middle. And there you go. Now you got your spare tire out. And then you want to crank it back up unless you need to put your regular wheel underneath. In this situation, we don't. You know, if your vehicle is full of luggage or something like that, you might have to put it underneath. But I would recommend not putting it underneath if you don't have to, because it tends to scratch those wheels. That wheel's like a steel wheel you don't have to worry about, whereas the factory wheels are a little more nice and painted, and you don't want to get them scratched up or anything. So just crank this back up. Don't crank it all the way back up. Let it hang down a little bit, probably about, you know, a foot or so, because without the weight of the wheel on there, sometimes you can create slack in that winch line, and then when it's time to come down again, it doesn't want to come down because it's bound up. So just kind of let it hang like that and you'll be fine. Pull all your rods back out, and then we'll get our jack out. Now's a good time to go ahead and put your lock cylinder back in. This only goes in one way. There's like a ridge right here on the top, like a little mohawk ridge. There's no ridge anywhere else on there. So just find that ridge on here and then on there and feed it right back in. You know, the same position that you put it in basically is how it's going to go back in. So there we go. We push it, we turn the key, and then we pull it back out. And just take your little plastic piece, put it back in, and just snaps back in. These are usually a pain in the butt to get this snap back in perfectly, but should be able to get it. Hopefully. Nope. If you can't get it, just pop it back out and try again. So this little edge right here is going to go past that. So we'll go that side in first, and then we'll pop it. There we go. Now we got it perfect. And then we'll take this, I'll put this back on, and we're going to put the top edges in first. Just put it like that, right into each little individual hole. Lines up perfect. And then we'll put our little wing nuts back on. Like so. Boom. Sometimes you got to push up and in. There you go. Pull on it, make sure it's tight. It is, we're good. All right, now we'll put our key back in our key fob. This goes back in, snaps back in, good to go. I'll grab our key and set this over here. So this locking lug nut key is going to go to this locking lug nut. See how this one is different than all of the others? All of the others are normal. This is your locking lug nut, your security lug nut. That's so people can't steal your wheel, but honestly, they can steal your wheel. It's not hard to take those off, so this is really pointless. So if you don't like these, you can always change it out for a regular lug nut, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore, because these get lost, they also get broken, and then it's difficult for someone to change the wheel out because of those. So now we'll get the jack out here on the back driver's side. Well, at least if you're in America, it's on the driver's side. Pull this little plastic cover off. Just put your fingers behind there and pull. It has these little metal tabs on here that hold it into the plastic, so it won't break or anything. And then there you have your jack. Now you won't be able to just grab it and pull it out. It's held in by tension, so you got to lower the jack by turning that little blue handle. And when you do that, it's going to lower that jack down a little bit. And then when you lower it, it gives you the slack that you need to get it out. Okay. Voila. It also has a couple of tire chucks mounted to it as well. So take that little wing nut, unscrew that, and that'll give you your tire chucks. Okay, so you can take your tire chuck and put it behind your tire here, like so. Wait, like, how do they want it? There it is. There you go, like that, and that'll help it to not roll. We can put one up here as well, and that's going to help it to not roll as we're jacking the vehicle up. Okay, so now we got our factory jack. Go ahead and put it over here, and we'll get our jack rods and the tire iron and all that stuff. So this is where we're going to need the flat part. Alright, so now when you're changing a tire on one of these vehicles, there's 2 jacking points on each side, 4 total. Our flat being in the back, we're going to look for our rear jacking point, which is going to be underneath the rocker panel, which is the bottom side of the vehicle. We'll come in here to the frame, if it'll go down low enough. May not go, it may not fit under here. There we go. And then just tighten it a little bit to give it some tension. Like so. And then take your flat end piece and connect it to your other rods that you got there. Okay, once you got it connected, you're just going to kind of feed that little flat end into the end of the jack. It'll go in that way. Might want to go the other way. I never use these factory jacks, guys, so forgive me. I usually use my own floor jack, but in the sake of trying to show you how it's done with the factory stuff, I'm using this one. So that's how everything connects there, and then you'll start cranking it clockwise to get it up. Okay, before you jack it up, take your lug wrench, put it on your lugs, and break all of them loose. Turning it counterclockwise. Take our key, security key, put it on there, make sure it locks into place by not turning. That way you know you got it seated correctly all the way in there. And then push in as you turn. There you go. Of course. Alright, so now that they're all loose, we can go ahead and start jacking the vehicle up. Alright, so take your lug nuts off. If you can unscrew it by hand, it's gonna give you less risk of scratching your rim. So some will come off by hand, some won't because of the tension of the wheel. Just try to get as many off by hand as you can. And like I said, one's going to be in with a little tension because of the weight of the wheel, but it's actually coming off pretty good. Newer vehicles, usually lug nuts come off pretty easy on newer vehicles. So there we go, last one, she's off. And now all you have to do is grab the rim and pull it, and it comes right off. Usually, if it doesn't come right off that easy, just give it a good kick and then it should come off. So now we'll just grab our spare wheel, roll it in there. We're going to set the holes right over the lug nuts here, over the lug studs I mean. It'll slide right on and be able to tighten it back up. Okay, so now just put your lug nuts back onto the wheel, onto the lug studs, screwing them on by hand, righty-tighty. Once you got all your lug nuts on by hand, go ahead and tighten them. Put your lug wrench on, give it a spin, get it tight, and then do a cross pattern. So you don't want to go tightening this one and then the next one right after it and the next one after it. You want to go tight here and then completely across from that. Tighten that one and then go completely across and then go completely across and then across and then across. And that's going to set the wheel or seat the wheel properly to the hub and make sure it's on, you know, good and tight. Because if you go the other way, it could seat it incorrectly and you don't want that. So tighten it in a cross pattern. Tight there, and come across and tighten there. And just keep repeating that until the wheel is on completely tight. All right, we're all done with changing the tire. See how that jack's kind of leaning? That was the position I could get it in. So, and there's kind of a downward decline in this parking lot, but that's why I don't like using these jacks, because they want to tip over on you. So good thing we use those tire chucks. Go ahead and reconnect this and lower it down. Guys and girls, I just wanted to cover something else with you guys real quick about this jack. This is the frame of the vehicle, super solid metal. You could put the jack on any part of this frame that you want to put it on. It's not going to damage anything, but don't put it on steering stuff like this. Don't put it on suspension stuff like this. Only put it on the frame. Don't put it out here on any of this stuff that holds the running boards or stuff like that. Always put it on the frame if you can. Just don't forget to get your tire chucks up before you try to drive away, and they go back with the jack, of course. So got the tire chucks back together, and then you just kind of set it back in there, and then don't forget you got to lift the jack back up so that way it won't rattle around and fall around in there. So just crank that blue thing up until you get some tension from the jack pad here at the top touching that metal. All right, it's in nice and tight, no rattling. We'll put our little cover back on, and that's just gonna go with these little plastic tabs up to the top first, and then it's gonna snap in. Boom, boom, boom. We're good to go. Now we'll just take our rods and break those apart and put them back in the little case thing. Okay, y'all, so something I forgot to put in the video is how to release your parking brake. So basically all you got to do to release your parking brake is just put it in reverse or drive, and slowly accelerate, and that will release your parking brake. So sorry that I didn't add that, but there you go. All right, guys, well, there you go. That's how to change a tire on your Chevy Suburban 2023. I hope this video helped you out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment. See you on the next video. Bye.